Tonight on TV1, the airing of the National Urban League's State of Black America Town Hall. We're joined right now by Mark Morial, President and CEO of the National Urban League. And Mark, it's interesting, we were just talking about on TV1 the budget of Trump when it comes to civil rights. His budget is also cutting the minority business offices. Now, I thought he was the jobs president, but they even want to cut that.
This budget proposal is like Sherman through Georgia. It would wipe out civil rights enforcement. It would wipe out investments in housing, community development, education. It would eviscerate the social safety net, community action agencies, food stamp, temporary assistance to families with needy children. It would add work requirements to a whole host of programs. This budget is absolute. Those proposals are trash, and we've got to defeat them. So tonight on TV1, people can continue this conversation because, as you know, you moderate a great panel with Angela Rye and Michael Eric Dyson and Touré and Paris Denard
Jeff Johnson,
and Jeff
Angela
Johnson,
Saylor, Simone Sanders.
Great people who will continue this discussion and will also give people a peek into the work the Urban League is doing in 5 cities across the nation. So thanks to TV1 and a thanks to you, because this is the first of what I hope is going to be an annual television presentation. So it's 8 p.m. tonight, Eastern Time on TV1. Please tune in.
One of the things that we really focused on this whole issue of economics, and that really is the fundamental issue for African Americans when you talk about where we stand. We lost 53% of our wealth due to the home foreclosure crisis in the last 8 or 9 years. There's an inability of African Americans to be able to access small business loans because that was our own collateral as well. And so what is the Urban League doing driving that particular issue of money, money, money?
So 2 things. First of all, let's talk about economics. You talked about wealth. Let's talk about jobs. So the truth is that the unemployment rate has come down to where it was during the recession. The other truth is that in most cities across America, the black unemployment rate is higher than the white unemployment rate. And then thirdly, for people who have jobs, Roland, their paychecks don't go as far as they went 10 years ago. So this is a double whammy of still high unemployment, incomes that have lost ground, and the wealth gap. So what do? All across the nation, we've got premier workforce development and job training programs, some funded through partnerships with the federal government to help people get the skills they need for a better paying job. Secondly, we have the very best home buyer education or housing counseling programs in 50 cities across the nation, which prepare people to become homeowners. All of this makes a difference, but it will not protect against massive budget cuts, because these programs in many instances rely on the support of federal, state, and local governments. They're your taxpayers coming back to our communities to help our communities grow. So this is going to be a difficult road ahead. The other thing we do is that we provide support to about 10,000 small businesses in communities across the nation. So if you're in one of 13 cities where we have Urban League Entrepreneurship Centers and you're a small business owner, you can walk in and we will provide services to you for free. So we're the do tank of the civil rights movement. We do advocacy, but Roland, we're on the ground as economic first responders and community builders. So this show will have a discussion that you'll moderate, and it's an exciting discussion about the issues that we face today. But we also want people to turn to their local Urban League for assistance with jobs, for assistance if they want to become a homeowner, or if they're a small business owner that wants to grow their business.
Sybil?
When you're looking at all of this, Mark Morial, and we just saw you at the Men of Color conference in South Carolina, what are you telling people is the greatest issue that we are not looking at, that we are not focusing on and facing in our everyday lives, that we should be?
In these times, I believe there must be a call to activism and civic engagement. These issues of schools and jobs and education are long-standing issues. But I really believe in our community. For example, in recent mayoral races in St. Louis and Ferguson, the turnout was disappointing. We have to be active.
Had a black mayor in each one of those cities.
We have to be much more active, and we have to be much more engaged in taking hold of our own future. We can't simply sit back and hope and wait. We have got to exert our voice. In 2018, every member of Congress is up for re-election. In this climate, why shouldn't we have record participation and turnout? This year, mayoral races in Atlanta, in New Orleans, gubernatorial races in Virginia and in New Jersey, and many, many other places. We've got to be involved. So we've got to be activists online. We've got to be activists, yes, in the street, but we've also got to be activists in the voting booth to participate in selecting the leaders.
But the thing is, though, I keep saying that after the election, that's the end of one process, the beginning of another. That means folks have to be at that city council meeting, that county commissioners meeting, those state meetings,
all
not just focus on Washington, D.C., because that's where so many laws are being changed. Most people don't even go to a school board meeting, but they'll be concerned about the education of our kids.
You're absolutely right, Roland, and that means that we have to hold all of the officials that we vote for accountable.
Town Hall tonight, 8
of
p.m.
St. Louis.
Eastern. Go ahead.
I was going to say, speaking of St. Louis, that's where your conference is going to be this
Our
summer.
conference will be in St. Louis this summer, last week of July, and we'll come back on and talk more about the details, but we'll continue the conversation there about how we protect our progress.
State of Black America Town Hall, presented by the National Urban League tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern on TV.
A peaceful protest turned deadly. 37-year-old black man was shot and killed by Baton Rouge police. His hands are in the air, and you still get shot by the cops.
Oh my God, please don't tell me he's dead.
We're not going to let hate define us.
Race is a big part of this.
If truly all lives matter, then all lives need to matter equally. What we require is action. What we require is accountability. We understand that black lives do matter, and we will keep focused on this issue.
NewsOne Now, every weekday morning at 7 on TV1.